And we are back here at Asian Youth Championship held in Singapore at Gorilla Climbing Gym. And local time is 5 minutes away from 11 a.m. And we just finished our speed selection for YOG. We will be moving towards the bouldering selection for both our male and female climbers. So once again, the competitors for this category, for this YOG selection, were the Youth A athletes that competed in the past 4 days in the lead, speed, and bouldering category.
That's right. The 6 climbers that you'll be seeing very soon from both categories are the strongest climbers amongst their own category, having competed for a few days in both the lead, speed, and of course the bouldering, which happened yesterday.
So this event is actually the first qualification round for Youth Olympic Games that will be happening in Buenos Aires in 2018, where 22 male and 17 females will be able to compete. And so those athletes competing today are the top 6 in the combined ranking, but only the winner will be able to compete in 2018 Buenos Aires.
But of course, this is the first qualification, so it is good to have a good start. But of course, there will be a lot more chances for them.
So in our starting list for the female bouldering selection, we will have climbers from Japan, Korea, and China. From Japan, we have Kareem Kojima, Mao Nakamura. From Korea, we have Kim Lan, Son Sunga, Ko Jongren, and from China, we have Song Yiling.
And as for the male YOG selection bouldering start list, we have Keita Dohei from Japan, Mizuki Tajima from Japan, Daiichi Nakajima from Japan, Song Hualong from China, Huang Dichong from China, and Pan Yufei from China. So from our list, we can tell that China, Japan, and Korea are doing really well in the bouldering sector. The bouldering discipline has been dominated by them for the bouldering Youth A category as well as the YOG category.
And this event is brought to you by IFSC Asia together with the climbing partners Kailas and Gecko King. So Kailas actually provides climbing gears for outdoor sporting essentials and had been providing the most reliable and highest quality products with the latest technology. And Gecko King has been involved in the climbing scene as well, providing climbing sports facilities and manufacturing climbing gears.
And of course, it is very important to have a very good climbing environment to be in. So a huge shout out to Gorilla Climbing Gym for providing with us a very, very conducive environment to be climbing in for the past many days. It is one of the biggest air-conditioned indoor climbing gyms in Singapore. And of course, we've seen how the walls are beautifully built with many features around and many different designs to make each problem a challenge for all our climbers. And on screen now is our first climber, Kareem Kojima from Japan, getting ready for her climb. And of course, side by side is Keita Dohei from Japan.
So immediately Karin is tackling her first problem of the day. These climbers have been climbing for almost 4 days straight now. So Karin immediately getting the bonus tile. So even though these handholds and footholds are really big, there are only certain parts that are good to hold. So it's important for our climbers to find a good spot for them to hold.
And still very confidently on the wall is Kareem.
It looks like was eyeing the end tile just now, really inching close.
Very close to it. But of course, Kareem still looking very comfortable on the tiles. So finding her own sweet spot.
The top is with inside. However, looking at it, it looks really small. I think it's a crimp. So it would just be enough for her, I guess, one pad of her hand to hold on to.
A very, very good shoulder tension. And I'm just leading up.
And this is still Kareem's first attempt on this route, so we will see if she can manage to get a flash. So when you
It's a
need two hands.
very good close from both Kareem, and inching closer is Keita.
And there we go, a flash by Kareem Kojima from Team Japan.
A very, very good start from Kojima from Japan. And now all eyes are on Keita. Very close to the top, very close attempt. And once again, we see the dual textured tiles,
Yeah.
which have been posing a problem for all the climbers in the past few days.
So the problem on the wall right now looks quite straightforward. However, what poses a challenge is that the holds are not very good. The contact strength really are being put to the test.
And of course, we've seen we've seen how Keita has slipped off the volume tile for a few times already. So very close, just hanging on to the balance. Would that be Keita? Steady. And that
And
will be
that's
it
the top.
from Keita. A very, very nice top.
So
from
both our Japanese climbers have topped their own routes. Our climbers also have a time constraint of 4 minutes on the wall. Just a quick replay of Kareem's climb.
she's very comfortable in that position, and she knows exactly what she needs to do to
Yeah.
get to the top. So she's taking her time, just slowly controlling her moves, trying to get herself in the best position she can before she reaches out right there.
She really used her full of her span to her advantage.
It's a very, very great start from both our climbers, Keita Dohei from Japan and Kareem Kojima.
A really good cup on his right hand there to keep him steady.
Yeah, but at this point he almost lost balance for a while. So instead of trying to go and do an overreach, he just went for an underreach.
And looking at the screen now, from Japan as well, we have Mao Nakamura.
And alongside Mao is Mizuki Tajima, also from Team Japan. Immediately going in for the climb is Mao.
So our climbers have not seen these routes except for an observation. So they were in isolation and they are not allowed to see the other climbers, their competitors, and see how they did the routes. So they really have to come up with their own solution for these problems.
And Mao very confidently, much, much faster than what we've seen from Kareem, is Mao once again.
And we have another flash on this route.
I guess this route itself, while it is straightforward, we can tell that these Japanese climbers are very calculated in their actions, very slow movements, and they are very good at route reading.
And also, if the climbing gyms that they train at have these tiles, they will be familiar on where to hold and which is the best part to hold. So right now,
Mizuki
it's finding
having
it a bit difficult.
a little problem with the start. See,
Keita
he's trying to
heel
do a. So Mizuki was trying to do a toe hook on the little towel
Yeah.
at the underside of the volume, while Keita did a heel hook.
Yes.
He's doing a more coordinated move and a very good start right now.
Really impressive.
That would be a very nice bonus for him.
So on this part, actually, Keita actually changed his right hand into an undercling.
Undercling.
So these surfaces that they're holding are flat. There are no extra tiles, so they're really working on their contact strength and finding the best angle for them to work with.
And also because the bonus towel is has a rounded apex instead of what we've seen from the simpler tiles. So this rounded apex actually adds a lot more challenge to their grip. They are not able to latch.
Pinch, yeah.
They're not able to pinch on the apex. It's a very, very interesting way of setting this route. Just once again trying to do a quick start.
Really nicely done. So our climbers really have different ways of doing a route. Our route setters will always have intended beta in their mind and how they predict our climbers to do the route. But at the same time, climbing is not just about your physical fitness, it's also about how much creativity you have in solving these problems.
And of course, it is really important to know your own strengths and weaknesses.
Definitely.
And are doing a lot better now is Mizuki with his start and a very, very controlled reach to the bonus.
And I guess there is an added pressure knowing that his teammate has already finished this route. It's definitely not hard to know when someone top a route because you can hear the crowd cheer. And I guess that is it for Mizuki.
But still, it is too early to tell because this is only the first route of the day for our YOG selections bouldering. There's 3 more coming up. So maybe Mizuki is just taking it as a strategy to just rest as much as he can before he goes on for the next 3 routes.
And on your left side of your screen, we are looking at Kim Lan representing Team Korea.
And of course, Daiichi, also from Team Japan. Daiichi Nakajima going in instantly for the start. So he's got to get his right feet on top of the volume to get a good start. Otherwise, it will be a false start. So in his first attempt,
Kim Lan going straight into the problem. The first 2 climbers that have done this route already flashed it.
of course, representative of Korea, Kim Lan.
And whenever you see a climber come back into isolation really fast, you know that they have finished it easily. So it will be, in a sense, might be affected psychologically, thinking that you also need to finish the route to be able to continue fighting towards a top position.
And of course, if we look back at Mao's climb, she did it really, really much faster than Kareem. So it is definitely added pressure to Kim Lan right now.
Kim Lan really working her shoulders on these 2 big volumes that we have. Left leg just slipping off that foothold.
And Daiichi, once again, struggling a little with the starting foothold.
Keita made this route look easy, especially the start.
It is also really interesting to see how all the 3 climbers from Team Japan have very different betas from each other.
Yeah.
I mean, we see Keita with a very, very controlled, very static kind of start with a heel hook there. And then we've seen Mizuki trying to do a jump start. And of course, Daiichi going a little slightly more static than what we've seen from Mizuki, but still a jump start nonetheless. Except he's taking his time to get his right feet onto the towel.
Yep. Kim Lan also slipping again. So our climbers will have to rethink and how they do this route. But once again, they have a time restraint of 4 minutes. Climbers will be tackling 4 boulder routes. So this is the first one. And right after this, they will be competing for the lead discipline.
And once again, Daiichi trying to get his right feet on the volume in order to do a proper start.
So whenever Kim Lan goes for the tile on the left side, she slips off. Her leg pop out, and I think it's because her right hand is also not very steady. Our climbers have 1 minute left. Daiichi now going for a more dynamic start.
And because of the way the scoring system works, every single bonus, every single top matters, and of course every attempt to the bonus and top counts. So right now, Daiichi.
Right now, Kim Lan is going for the bonus tile before going to the left tile. Just now, she was still holding the tile on the right side, so it was quite a far reach. Now she came in closer, coming into the bonus tile with her right hand.
So this is the part she has to mental her way towards the top. Very, very close reach.
And just in time, a
Just
top
in
by
time.
Kim Lan.
With 5 seconds on the clock. Kim Lan from Korea.
Just a quick replay. Really good push on the left and securing the cream on the right hand.
And just in time. So time really matters a lot to our climbers. It is not just a fight between themselves and the wall. It is also a fight against time.
From Team Korea, we have Son Sunga attempting her first route of the day for the YOG selection.
And Song Hwa Long going in straight for the climb. Just trying to figure out how to place his feet. Because as we've mentioned about the dual textured tiles, you can tell that a lot of these climbers so far who have tackled the male problem are not exactly trying to step on the white polished surface. Because for one, they know that it is very slippery, and for next, they know that it is a huge risk to put too much weight on the left tile. And going very, very strong is Song Seung-ah. It's a flash attempt from her.
Hwa Long is also trying to attempt the same way as Keita, the way he started with a heel hook on the left.
But this time he's doing what Daiichi also tried. So he just get himself up first before he gets his right foot onto the volume.
So now Son Sunga has secured the tile on the left side, and this is still her first attempt, so this could be a flash.
A flash attempt nonetheless. She's got to control herself.
Get that full push on the left side.
And well done.
And there we go.
Great job from Team Korea, Song Seung-ah. And Hwa Long.
These athletes have competed in the speed earlier on, and the past 4 days have been competing for the Youth A category of their own disciplines. So it's almost 5 days straight of climbing. So really kudos to the amount of endurance and energy that these athletes have to be exerting effort and force every single day and doing the best they can.
And that was Hwa Long. So he committed a false start because his limbs were not steady on the tiles before he went for the bonus. So that would be a false start for him.
And I think that is a legitimate start.
Trying to secure himself on the bonus, because as we've mentioned, the apex is rounded, so it reduces a lot of friction and doesn't allow you to pinch or latch onto the bonus for too long.
The difference also is that the other climbers who were holding the bonus tile, they actually cupped it instead of pinching the apex. So Hwa Long was pinching it and it wasn't very steady. So if he figured out to cup the sides of the volume,
he's doing a lot better now from the starting positions. So he needs to find the spot to put himself. Very, very strong fingers right there.
he has less than 1 minute to complete this route. Really need to control. We need to do a high step right now.
It's a very controlled move, very awkward position to put your body in, especially when you have to contort your feet so up high into the air.
Yeah, and I think that is it for him. Quick replay of Son Sunga's top on the first boulder problem. Still, she is quite tall, so she managed to keep her left leg on the previous tile. And right now we have from Korea as well, Ko Jong-ran
and Hwang Di-chung from China. It's a very close start from Di-chung. And of course, Jong-ran.
If you are just joining us, you are now watching the Youth Olympic Games selection happening here in Singapore. This is an event held here for the Asian Youth Championships. So these athletes are fighting it out for a spot to represent in Buenos Aires in 2018. Jong-ran looking quite steady. Really strong shoulder right there.
Very good tension, amount of pressure to put. But she's got to control it. So putting her feet onto the tile. The huge volume.
So Ko Jong-ran is finding the way. I think she also wants to match on that bonus, so she's trying to find a good spot, but you really need to make sure that your left hand don't slip off. There are no other surfaces, it's just contact strength. And these holds that are on the wall are not exactly very good.
And also because of the rounded surface, it doesn't allow them to latch on for too long. And a very, very good progress from Di-chung. One tile away after several attempts.
Ko Jong-ran doing a different way, resting, putting her right knee to jam and just shaking off.
So a very, very conducive way of climbing, very effective. It lets you rest for a while before you have to commit to the next move.
So most of the competitors actually put their right leg over to the tile at the right hand side with the small crimp. But Jong-ran is stepping closer. She's stepping on the bonus, and there she goes. So she's doing the same thing as the other competitors as well. So she needs her left hand to change into a push. So she needs to shift her weight to the right leg. Just
very,
popping
very
out.
close flash attempt from her. And also from Di-chung again.
Di-chung is getting the bonus, however, it cannot move off from that. I think if they figure out maybe to change it into an undercling and wrap from under, it actually helped Keita when he was doing this route. So if our climbers try that, perhaps it will help them as well.
But of course, on her second attempt, Jong-ran, but with less than a minute on the clock. So fighting against time, fighting against herself on the wall. And this route is not making it easy for her, definitely. I mean, we've seen how much she has to rest just before every big move. And Di-chung getting more confident with each climb. Just a slip up from Di-chung. And that is it from Di-chung.
Jong-ran looking at the clock.
Seconds away.
5 seconds to reach the top.
It's a very, very close fight for Jong-ran with seconds to the end.
Next up, we will have Song Yiling from China.
And of course, Yufei, also from China.
Song Yiling's scorecard is actually quite good right now because she has actually secured first place for the speed selection.
In fact, it is the same for Yufei. So both of these climbers that you're seeing on screen now are the top qualifiers for the speed YOG rounds. So both of them have secured themselves a top position in this YOG qualifications for the speed discipline. So we're going to be seeing how they would tackle the bouldering sector. It's a very close fight from Yufei.
For them to qualify, for them to win the spot to 2018 Buenos Aires, they must be able to have the top points in all the categories: lead, speed, and bouldering.
So Yiling just struggling a little with the bonus tile.
And right now, both of these climbers are the front runners. So if they actually do very well for this discipline, they might have a very big lead and big chance to be the one going for the YOG.
And of course for Yufei, a very close fight, securing himself the bonus.
Yiling once again making her way to the bonus tile. Looking confident.
But for the male YOG selection rounds, for the first bouldering problem, only Keita has managed to top. So it would be very advantageous for Yufei if he manages to top this route to secure himself an early lead in also the bouldering discipline. Just struggling a little with the bonus again.
So it's important for our climbers to regroup and pace themselves. They have 4 minutes to do this route. So they can attempt as many times they want within these 4 minutes. However, the attempts count. The more attempts they use, it will lower the score. So it's really good if they can do a route in one attempt. Right now, Yiling back on the bonus tile, trying to find a good spot for her to hold.
And same for Yufei, trying to find the sweet spot on the volume, figuring out a little now.
So now he changed into that under cling, wrapping it under.
Is he gonna jump for it? Keep
So
very controlled.
really good tension on the left leg right there.
Just a finger away. So he's got to find balance for his right feet. Very close to the finish. There's a minute left on the clock for both our climbers from Team China.
I think our climbers can give it one more good attempt before we move on to the second problem of the day.
Very confident start from Yufei.
Yiling inching over towards the left.
Securing his right feet into a cupping position.
Climbers have less than 5 seconds left,
It was so close for Yufei.
as well as Yiling.
So Yufei actually managed to get 2 fingers on the tile, but just before the buzzer started to count down, he got two hands onto the top tile, but it was not counted because it was not a stable finish. So really unfortunate for him, but there is more to come for all our climbers at this YOG bouldering selection.
And on the second problem right now, we have Kareem Kojima representing Team Japan. Just waiting, maintaining the routes before our climbers start. And the screen we also have Keita Dohe for the male YOG selection.
So Keita is the only climber from this YOG selection round for the bouldering sector to have finished the route, the first route, and within a very short number of attempts. So he's securing himself an early lead for the bouldering discipline, and we'll see if he can maintain this lead in the next problem. Looking from the screen, you can tell it's quite a dynamic problem. Very explosive moves are required.
Both the routes right now, both for our male and female, are placed in a very inclined wall. Looking at the female route, there are no more footholds on the left side, so they really have to work their core to move across the route.
And Keita securing himself with a toe hook.
There's actually a small foothold, a small knob over there.
A small little knob for his feet to hook onto that he's been using. Very interesting way. Very interesting route, definitely. I mean, we've seen the position he's just placed himself in. It was direct front lever onto the tile right above him, the bonus tile. But until he manages to put his hand on it, it is not counted as a bonus.
Kareem also not getting the bonus yet. Still working her way through the black volumes. The black volume on the right actually has a small crimp, black crimp as well. Other than that, the rest of the route, the rest of that tile is just flat surface. So they really have to use the contact strength to hold on into these tiles.
And you see Kareem actually started from holding 4 fingers, using 4 fingers on the little pad, to moving up to 2 fingers left just to make room for her heel. And in the previous attempt, Keita was actually called down for a false start because instead of having 2 limbs on each tile for the starting positions, he only had 1 hand on the black starting tile and 3 limbs on the yellow starting tile. So he was called down for this false start and it cost him an attempt.
But right now he's inching to the top.
So making his attempts count. Keita just brushing onto the top.
Kareem right now making sure that hook stays.
So
changing into a step. And there we go. To the bonus tile. So I think it will be quite a dynamic move to the top.
it would be a coordinated dynamic move, I would say.
Kareem right now, she knows that she needs to stand up to reach the second last style. So she needs to find her balance, because if she slip off, she might pop out.
So using her fingers.
Our climbers have 1 minute left, about a minute left. Kareem just slipping off the second last style. I think she can give it one more go. I think that will be her final attempt. The top hold looks pretty good from here.
But of course, the second last tile is triangular volume.
Yes.
So it's very tricky, as we've seen how Kareem has tried to catch it. Very close one from Keita. And that will be it from Keita.
And we still have Kareem making her way to the top, but she does not have a lot of time. So she really needs to quicken her pace over here. However, she did the first part quite easily now.
That would be it for Kareem. Great shout out to both our climbers, Keita and Kareem from Team Japan. So following now is
Mao Nakamura from Japan.
And of course Mizuki from Japan.
The route for the guys looks really exhausting, because the incline of the wall is really high.
And at the same time, the yellow volumes that we see on the screen, they are rounded edges,
Yeah.
as we've seen. And Mao, very strong start. Very confident start.
Getting the bonus on her first attempt, so it really looks promising.
And going further than what Kato has done is Mizuki. Very different beta.
These climbers right here competing are born between 2000 and 2001, so these athletes are quite young.
Very young, in fact.
Yeah,
Because
just coming in
Mao,
at the turn of the millennium.
Mao slipping off the tile again that Kareem has fallen off from. On their second attempt.
So it's really important to brush off excess chalk. So climbers use chalk so that their hands will remain dry. However, if there's too much chalk on a surface, it can also lessen the friction.
And a little slip up from Mizuki.
Our climbers have a little over 2 minutes left. And we still have 4 more climbers coming up later on. Both our climbers starting the climb again, looking strong, looking very confident from Team Japan. Mao already knows what she needs to do. She's already touched the second last tile, just slipping off. So she really needs to be conscious as she pushed onto this tile.
And Mizuki just making last decisions on using liquid chalk instead of the powdered chalk, because liquid chalk actually stays longer on your hands, and of course we see the male route is very, very explosive moves on very, very slimy looking tiles. It's not going to be easy on his hands, especially his palm, since the entire surface area of his palm will be in contact with the volumes.
The climbers have 1 minute left. So they really have to give it their all now. So if you're watching right now, you are watching the YOG selection. Do let us know where you are from and who are you rooting for. Just cheer on for our young athletes right here.
It's a very close call from Mizuki, so he's changed his beta.
And that is it for Mao Nakamura.
And also from Mizuki from Team Japan.
So IFSC Asia is partnered together with Kailas and Gecko King, held here at Gorilla Climbing Gym right here in sunny Singapore. Coming in now is Kim Lan from Korea for the YOG selection for the female bouldering.
And for the male YOG selection bouldering section, we have Daiichi Nakajima from Team Japan. So this route is very important to Daiichi because he is the only climber from the YOG selection who has yet to get the bonus for the first route. It's a very interesting way of positioning himself, similar to what we've seen from Keita just a while ago. And of course, very, very strong is Kim Lan. Very steady move, very good flash attempt.
None of our girls have topped this route yet, similar for the boys.
But both our previous climbers from the YOG selection has managed to brush the top tile.
Yeah. Really excited to see how these moves are gonna be done. It seems like there's a similar problem for the second problem for the girls. As they stand up, they can reach at the bottom, and as they reach higher for the tile, the highest part of that tile, they end up popping out the wall, as in they are starting to lose their balance. I think it's because of the position of the bonus tile. Actually, you have to lean out a bit So when your core is not as near to the wall, you end up coming out, and the incline of the wall also pushes you out.
And of course, at the same time, we've seen how Mao and Kareem have been trying to grab onto the second last tile in a dynamic movement. So because of the way the volume is designed, that little black volume is designed right before the last tile, it is very difficult to catch it.
Yeah.
So
I don't think they can rush this move. I think this move is the one that requires quite a balancing act.
Yeah, from what I see, I think it is a very technical, very static move for you. You gotta bump yourself up. You gotta push yourself against that second last tile instead of trying to catch it.
And then I think after you do a static push, and then it's an explosive move to the end tile because it's really good. So it's really interesting to see how these routes, even not just the routes itself separately, are varied. Even within the route, the movements that being tested from our climbers changes. So we can have a start that is very static, and then right in the middle, the route, they have to do something dynamic. Yeah. And the thing about these athletes that even though they are very young, they have been training really hard. And Japan and Korea really have been giving us a good showing right here in YOJ, and even in the world level. And I guess these are the climbers that they would try to emulate.
And Daiichi trying yet another different beta. That will be it from Daiichi. That will be it from Daiichi from Japan, having secured himself a bonus from this route. And with 30 seconds on the clock, is Kim Lan. Yeah, so this is what we were talking about. So instead of going on a right overhand cross, you gotta try to do a push from the left. Still a very, very good job from Kim Lan. Joining us next would be Son Seung-ah from Korea and Sung Hwa Long from China. So Seung-ah has done very well in the previous route with a flash attempt, getting a flash in her first route. Meanwhile, Hwa Long,
the green handhold that they are holding that is on the simple tile is not good. It's really small, so just enough for the fingertips to hold on to. And given that the wall is very inclined, that puts even more pressure on the fingertips. And looking at Son Seung-ah looking strong. So she needs to touch the bonus for it to count. Yes, and now she secured it.
So very, very tall climbers, very long limbs from Seung-ah. Not sure if she's gonna jump for it.
She looks like she has the intention to go
dynamic.
She
looks like she has the intention to jump for the tile. And a very good attempt.
So just looking at the tile where she can hold it. And I think the rest of that tile is really not good. So I think the optimum part of it is that flat side that we are looking at.
The one that we're facing them.
And it's not much of a pinch on that tile, but a push.
But so far, only Kim Lan has managed to do a different beta from the other climbers before her, using her left hand instead of her right. But it's also a bit counterintuitive sometimes because your left leg is already sitting in very nicely, very neatly on the bonus tile, and your left hand is cupped across the bonus tile. So it becomes slightly counterintuitive to want to switch your feet over to the right and then use your right hand to cup the tile instead.
And sometimes sometimes that's the problem. When you are too comfortable in a sit-in, it's very hard to stand up because your thigh gets stuck in that sit-in position.
And your hands are refusing to let go because it is such a safe position to be in.
Yeah.
But right now, switching her feet over already is Seung-ah.
She intends to go with a right hand push.
So I have a feeling she's going to jump for the top. So she had that feel. And maybe just reaching out. Yes, that's right.
This is what we saw Kim Lan do just now.
So maybe just finger walking on the little volume.
Yeah, so she has to push. Yep, this is
Yep,
where
this
Kim
is
Lan
it.
was before she fell off at the last 5 seconds.
Yeah, but we also see that she's actually really, really tall,
Yeah.
really long limbs.
So this is what I'm talking about when your sit-in gets stuck on that position. So she's struggling to do a one-leg squat right now. Especially since her left hand is not holding anything.
And because of the way the wall is inclined,
Yeah.
her left feet is just dangling in the air.
Yeah.
There's nothing for her to smear.
Yes.
And in fact, if she smears, there's a high chance of her kicking herself off the wall
Yeah.
because of the incline.
It's really important to do a pistol squats right now.
And of course, very, very strong on the second route is Hua Long. Struggling a little with the volumes.
Yeah.
All the Japanese climbers have also been struggling with the volumes for a while before managing to reach to the last tile. And Senga,
Our climbers have about half a minute left. So this should be the final go at this.
that's it from Hua Long.
As well as Son Sunga.
So it took Senga about 2 attempts to figure out the beta,
Yeah.
or the beta that we predict to be. And we're gonna see how the other climbers will solve this problem.
And her teammate right now coming up, Ko Jong-ren, representing Korea.
And Huang Dichong from China. Just waiting for the call from the route judges.
And they're ready to go.
Figuring out, trying to see the route. Just reading as much as he can.
So this is the second problem of the day for our climbers. They have 2 more left to go, and after this they still have the lead selection. So it's really gonna be a long day of climbing for them.
And to make things even more interesting is that the climbers have been climbing with us for a lot of days already.
Yes.
Since Wednesday for
Yes.
the lead qualies to make it through to the lead finals, and then the speeds, and of course the bouldering that has been ongoing for the past few days, for many hours of climbing, and many strong climbers all over the world coming here. And to qualify for the YOG itself, it is an amazing feat. And of course, very strong on the wall, it's Zhongran.
It's really impressive how these climbers are still climbing so strong after climbing so many days. I mean, sometimes your fingers will just get that feeling where they are too raw, that they just hurt, because sometimes your skin just peels off as you climb more and more. So for them to be climbing on the last day of this event, on a 5th day, it's really impressive. They deserve a good break right after this.
And of course, Dichong on a very good attempt. So he actually managed to save himself a number of times.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, once he tried to match his hand on the volume, he slipped off. Because the volume is rounded, very rounded, very wide girth. So his pumps just slipped off again, as what many of the other climbers have committed right before him.
I think we can say that these routes are what the route setter would call a filter route. Usually when route setters set their routes, they predict how many of the climbers out of the 6, how many would it be, half of them, 2 of them, only 1, and so on. These climbers are really strong for their age. Really young, born in 2000, 2001. I wouldn't be surprised if I see some of them for the Tokyo 2020 that is happening, in which history was made and climbing is finally inside the Olympics as well. Just a close-up look at that small crimp. As the climbers continue the challenges up here today, definitely the fatigue will start to build up, and it's really important for climbers to get a good rest while they are in isolation.
The accumulated fatigue can be seen very evidently
Yeah.
from our climbers. Not just from the previous routes, but also from the previous days of climbing in all three disciplines.
Really important for them to have a very strong mindset to fight through the physical pain and the physical exhaustion that they are feeling.
And of course, the mental exhaustion that they're going through by now.
Yeah, of course, competition stress is always gonna get through to you, but it's important to manage it and not let it affect your climb.
And of course, that would be Di Chong from China and Zhongran from Korea. So I cannot start to imagine how much competition stress they have been having for the past 5 days. So much climbing, so much stress on each of them. One discipline every single day, and just for today, all three disciplines.
And on the screen right now is Team China with Song Yiling and Pan Yufei. And these are our last climbers on this problem. And we have yet to see a top
from both our male and female. But I'm going in very confidently. It's Pan Yufei and Song Yiling. So this route is Yufei's route. In a sense, he is a very explosive climber, very powerful, with very strong contacts on volumes. But he cannot afford to be careless. And of course, Yiling.
Really strong shoulder right there.
Just trying to find the sweet spot on the left tile.
Very nice catch on a heel hook. And securing the bonus tile for Yiling. She has to sit in to get to the other side of that tile. And there we go.
And Yufei, once again, back on the wall.
I think Yiling is trying to change into a step so that she can adjust herself.
So close.
Just popping off.
Just Yufei as well.
So just a quick look on the guy's route. Those tiles, even though they are huge, there's only certain parts that you can hold. And if you're not familiar with the tile, you might take some time to figure it out while you are on the wall.
And of course, because of the orientation of the tiles on this incline wall, it is not positive. It is not a very, very comfortable position to be in.
Definitely a full body workout for our athletes right now. Once again, our Chinese climbers are back on the wall.
Very strong shoulder control. Yiling.
So this is the point where our climbers have to fight the fatigue and to continue to strive towards the top. So one of our climbing partners for this event is actually Kailas, as well as Gecko King, supporting IFSC Asia to bring you Asian Youth Championship right here in Singapore. And this is actually the Youth Olympic Games selection.
With a minute on the clock, making this attempt count. Yufei still struggling a little on the bonus tile.
And Singapore is actually the host country for this event this year, in support from Sports Singapore as well as the Singapore Mountaineering Federation. It's really nice to see all these athletes gathered in one place, supporting each other.
So much more confident in his step now. Yufei has got to make his attempt count.
Looking really strong,
Much more
aiming
confident.
towards the top.
So close once again. Yufei, that
He looks really frustrated.
It gets really, really frustrating every time when you manage to touch the last tile
Yeah.
and then you just fall off. It gets really, really frustrating, and knowing that you can finish it if you had just that little more time.
And that is it for the second problem. We have not seen a top for the both male and female routes, but it's alright. We will be moving to the third route of the day.
So there's this thing called the last tile syndrome that we always see in many, many competitions, regardless where it is from, where we always see people touching the last tile, and then when they fall off the last tile, they feel so frustrated, and all of us just clench our hearts and clench our fists for that.
And right now we have Team Japan. We have Kareem Kojima as well as Keita Dohei.
And it is a coordinated move right there. So she's got to dance across the wall. And Keita.
This is where parkour comes into climbing.
And that's Keita.
Looks really interesting. I like the colors of this route for the guys.
So it is actually intentional that the route setters have placed two discs back to back on each other on the wall, so that it prevents the climbers from trying to
hold on to the
orange tile. So in a sense, they are forced to do a coordinated move to the bonus tile. But I wouldn't be surprised if either of these climbers would try to reach for the pink or orange tiles.
There we go, by Keita, really nice.
Securing himself the bonus in his second attempt.
There is actually a small crimp
onto the huge volume. So one disc away.
However, it's positioned in such a way that it looks like you have to hold underneath, so it's not very positive.
It's not a very positive move, but Keita, very, very close from the final disc.
So it's not a catch. You need to consciously pinch that last hold for the guy's route, because you don't want to pop out the wall.
And of course, because there's nothing left on the right for their foot,
yes,
I would see a hanging end maybe from the boys. And still trying once again is Kareem Kojima. Just trying to read the route as much as he can again. It's Keita. And Kareem. It's very close to the bonus. I wouldn't actually be very surprised if I see one of the female climbers actually span across the route.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen how Son Seung-ah is actually really tall.
I think the problem with Kareem is that her right foot is not being steady on the third volume on the right. So she needs to keep the tension on her right foot so that even though she swings out, her body will stay.
Pull herself.
Because the bundle on the left is really huge. But because her right leg will also slip off, that is why she's popping. See, the right leg missed again. So it's really important that the right leg catch. It's just everything must align in the sense that her right hand and her right foot need to catch at the same time. And our climbers have 1 minute left.
And the main thing that's preventing her from doing a span is the incline on the wall.
Yes.
If you're not able to see it, it's actually an incline that prevents her from just doing a full span. Very intentional of the climbers. Excuse me, very intentional of the route setters. And of course, Keita again. Very close.
Really huge fall.
Because there's nothing to step on the right. And that will be it from Keita.
Kareem not giving up, still wanting to get that bonus.
Now Keita really, really tired from his climbs from the past few days, even to this moment. Last 5 seconds. It's Kareem.
It's really nice
showing
to see
the never say die attitude. Very, very impressive of her.
Walking in is her teammate Mao Nakamura from Japan.
And as well as Mizuki Tajima, also from Team Japan.
So these routes look really good in the sense that they look very aesthetically pleasing with the colors on the wall.
All these little discs
Add
around.
some youth into it. I mean, these are youth athletes, so it's really nice to see. Really good work by Mao.
Wow.
Getting that move in her first
really
attempt.
swift on her feet.
However, she catch with her left leg so that her swing was actually less than Kareem's attempt.
And she didn't overcompensate because she didn't go past the bonus when she tried to catch it. So she knew that she has to latch onto the bonus tile. And of course,
Mizuki as
similar
well.
for Mizuki. They both know they have to latch onto the tile in a side pull position. Just
I'm not too
fingers
sure if
from-
there's actually a small crimp at the volume.
It looks like a
There's a small crimp right there inside the volume, but it doesn't look very deep. She was trying to reach for that.
the same mistake from Mizuki, launching off a little too fast without catching himself. But nonetheless, a very, very good flash attempt from both our climbers from Japan.
Definitely these moves are learned. It takes a lot of practice for your fast twitch muscles to work and to activate them as and when you need.
And of course, the coordination comes with experience and lots of practice. We've seen from Mizuki and Mao.
So the coordination move proves easy for them. It's the rest of the route that they have to figure out now.
So a very nice toe hook. Very, very close. Mizuki. Mao doing the shoulder tension again. Wow. Completely relying only on the
Inching to
left
that crimp.
shoulder. Just
The last start is actually not that bad. It's sloping out, but if there's a commitment to her move, she should be able to catch it.
like that.
And she needs one more for it to be a top. And there you
Very
go.
good job by
Very good toe hook
Mao
right there.
Nakamura.
Yeah, she really left her toe there so that she doesn't swing out.
The most impressive thing I feel from this attempt by Mao is the fact that she completely just relied on her left shoulder to
Yes,
bring
yes.
herself up. So her hands and her left feet and her right hand was just controlling and balancing herself,
Yeah.
keeping herself close to the wall. But it was entirely
On her
putting her
left
weight
and her
on her
right.
left,
Right leg.
left shoulder and her right leg. It's a very, very controlled move.
And who said that climbing is not, it's just about pulling, right? You also need to know how to push and to work your legs.
And of course, it's not about just the muscle strength. It's really about coordination and balance, as we've seen from Nakamura.
And of course, they must be able to visualize the movement in their mind even before they can execute it.
Mizuki,
Doing a very different way.
very, very
Still
close.
no top.
So it still is the swing that you have to counter.
Control, yeah.
The moment you release your feet to grab both the tiles.
This part to him looks really easy, so it's just, it must be really frustrating when the rest of the route you can do it easily, but the top is so elusive for you.
He's very familiar with the routes by now.
The left leg just popped out. He was trying to toe hook but came off.
And that will be it from Mizuki Tajima from Japan. So when someone gets really, really familiar with the routes, we become a little careless, a little
Yes,
reckless at
yes.
times, especially since time is running out. So many climbers actually commit the same mistake as we've seen so far in all our days of climbing.
And there is the quick replay of Mao Nakamura's top.
Very nice tap right
Yeah.
there.
And right now we have Kim Lan representing Korea and Daiichi Nakajima from Japan.
Just taking some time to do a little route reading.
So this is the second last problem for our climbers. After this they have one more and then they will be moving on to the lead discipline after a quick break. Really powerful move right there by Daiichi. Maybe a bit too much. Just need to rein it in a bit and more control.
And of course, Kim Lan
trying to get that swing, that momentum.
So she managed to get her right hand on the bonus, but her left hand missed.
And Daiichi catching that bonus style. His right hand almost came off, but he quickly latched on. And I think the difference between Kareem and Kim, as in the similarity between Kareem and Kim Lan, is that they have not been going to the right as much. Mao Nakamura really went all the way to the right.
In fact, Kim Lan actually stopped herself on the second.
There's a bit of a
foot
hesitation.
volume. Yes. So she knows that she has to be leaning has to do a layback movement when she hits the bonus. But because of this hesitation, she's stopping herself from reaching the bonus itself. So she's gonna do a span. The slip of the foot.
So Daiichi really very explosive, but just needs to be a bit more controlled. The thing is, this is not very easy as they have to do it one after the other. They can attempt as many as they want in 4 minutes. It goes in such a way that the number of tops and attempt to top, number of bonus and attempt to bonus will count. So the most number of tops with the least number of attempts will be scored higher.
Of course, Kim Lan. It gets daunting, especially when each time the move you make, you just keep doing the same thing over and over again, but you're just inches away from getting the towel. As we've seen from Kim Lan, a little daunted right now.
You know, Daiichi securing that bonus once again, trying to make his way to the top. The top tile is positioned in such a way that it's really poor, and there are no more foothold on the right side, so there's gonna be a very big swing. So it's really need to be able to catch it.
There's a minute left. Definitely able to afford themselves a few more attempts if necessary. Kim Lan. So at this point in time, Kim Lan's just trying to secure herself the bonus. And that would be it from Daiichi from Japan. Just the last few attempts for Kim Lan. Very, very close. But that will be it from Kim Lan. A very, very good attempt nonetheless. And joining us next is Son Seung-ah from Team Korea and Song Hwa-long from China. Just reading a little more, Son Seung-ah, before taking her first attempt. And a little hesitation before starting, Song Hwa-long. Making sure each attempt counts. Song Hwa-long doing a very, very different beta. Instead of trying to catch the bonus with two hands, it's going for the volume. Son Seung-ah. So very close to securing the bonus. So now he knows what he has to do. He has a good feel of the bonus tile. So just got to match and execute this move. A little misstep. And Son Seung-ah. Getting closer each time. Yet another little misstep from Hwa-long. And of course, Sungla getting better with each attempt, with each jump. Very, very close from Hua Long. Just making few steps. Catching himself the bonus, Hua Long. So for Hua Long right now, he has to compensate for his previous routes. So this route is very important to him, having already come very far for the YOG selections. Son Seung-ah. Almost there, managing to catch herself with her right feet. It's just one attempt away. With a lot of time left, Song Hua Long. One tile away. Nearly there for Hua Long. Just looking at the time, making sure that he can afford a few more attempts. And Son Seung-ah getting the bonus. As time is running out, our climbers cannot afford to make any mistakes. They may not be able to afford any more attempts. So that will be it from Pan Yufei. Excuse me, that will be it from Song Hua Long as well as Song Seung-ah. And joining us right now is Kim Jong-ran from Korea and Huang Dichong from China. So Hua Long has taken a lot of attempts in order to secure himself a bonus. And we'll see how fellow teammates Dichong would do. And of course, for Jong-ran,
Really excited to see a top on the male boulder tree
very, very good move from Dichong, securing the bonus
in the first
in
attempt.
the flash attempt. Of course, a very, very good effort from Jong-ran. Whoa!
It looks really steady. For a moment, I thought he would get it.
Definitely a very, very close attempt from Dichong.
And Jongran almost getting that coordination move. Really nice there when her right leg immediately popped out to stop the swing. Just slipping off of it. So if she continued that movement, I think she can get it.
So Seung-ah actually did the same move, the trying to use her right feet to stop herself from swinging outwards a lot.
Yeah.
So it's the same for Jong-ran, having a little issues with trying to stop their swing. And Dichong, very close to the top, furthest we've seen so far.
And there
Very
we go.
good. Very well done by
The
Dichong.
first stop of that route. Nicely done.
Very, very good.
Well done,
In
Team
only
China.
his second attempt.
Yes.
Definitely making life difficult for the upcoming climbers. Securing himself an early lead for the bouldering sector of the YOG selections.
So Jongran needs to hold on to that bonus star in a steady manner before it can be counted as bonus. So it's really important for her to be able to control the swing. And I think she's getting a bit closer now. It's really very hard to control the swing, especially when you put in so much power, because you need the momentum to propel you forward, but at the same time you can't have it too much that you swing out. And there we go. Just nice.
So secured herself a bonus. Just gonna see if she can reach as far as possible to perhaps where Mao was just a while ago. It's gonna take a lot of control, a lot of power.
And as we saw Mao do this, she really relied on the left shoulder and a lot on the right leg, while the rest of her limbs are just hanging and staying in control, staying balanced.
So she's just checking the towel to see where the in cuts are, to see if there's any nice place to put her hands.
Zhongran has 1 minute left on the clock. So this is the same move as Mao did just now.
Very, very good job by Zhongran with time running against her.
I think she would try to adjust her left leg a bit higher. There we go.
Oh!
Her left leg slipped off the tile.
But she's got some time left to afford a few attempts. Much more confident now in her stopping of a swing. Use her right leg to prevent herself from jutting off the wall.
But I think she looks quite exhausted.
Definitely very exhausted by this point in time.
She would need to move faster right now because she is running against the clock. You can hear. And
that will be
time
it
is up
from Zhongran. And on screen is Song Yiling from China. And joining her would be Pan Yufei from China. Both Song Yiling and Pan Yufei have already secured themselves the top position in the speed sector. So immediately on the get-go is Pan Yufei. Very, very good lead, very secured on the bonus.
Her teammate actually got this top quite easily, only in the second attempt.
So he's trying to find a nice position to be in.
And he flashed it.
Well done from Yufei.
Really just a victorious shout right there. Can see how much they really wanted it.
Definitely, because with this flash, it has secured himself the top position in the boulders. And having to compensate for his previous route, having brushed across the final tile. So with this flash, Yufei is in the lead. And of course, with his results in the speed, it's a very, very early lead for him.
Yeah, it's
very,
really
very good
definitely in the
results.
front running right now. And all eyes on Yiling as she gets to the bonus tile, trying to make her way to the top. These climbers, though young, are very fierce competitors. Definitely we should look out for them in the upcoming competitions, especially in the world level. These are the names to remember.
Of course, the Youth Olympics is only the start to their career. And Song Yiling is hoping to see another finish. Finding the best way to place herself and just moving up forwards. So close.
So for Mao, actually, she did a very static and static in such a way that her left hand held on first and then she kept the right hand locked. So putting a lot of weight on the left leg. But given that the bonus style is not positioned in a positive way, it's very hard to top load on your footing.
That's right. And for that, her right for Yiling, she has to step away from the right towel.
Yes.
The right yellow volume that she was stepping on, because that would be putting a lot of weight on her right side, but most of the weight needs to go to the left if she wants to load onto the top towel.
She still has time to figure this route out to get to the top. And then after this, we will be moving on to the last problem of the day for the YOG selection. And the winner of this qualification round will be able to compete in the 2018 Buenos Aires Youth Olympic Games. This is only the first qualification right here at the Asian Youth Championship here in Singapore, held at Gorilla Climbing Gym.
Just a minute on the clock left for Yiling and her attempts.
So she has to replicate the same movements as she did just now when she was loading on her right leg. Really helps when you use your right hand to push the weight to the right. So she already managed to do this move just now, so it's just about securing the top. Once again, her left hand and her left hand slip off, and then her
That
right
would
hand
be it
popped up.
from Yiling. Probably saving some energy for the last route coming up very, very soon.
So local time now is 12:15 p.m. right here in Singapore.
And we see once again Yufei, knowing that this route is very important to him and knowing exactly how it needs to be done. That look of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Very, very good job by Yufei.
And right now we have Kareem Kojima from Japan, as well as Keita Dohi, also from Japan. So we can see the start of this route is really high for the guys. So I think the foot needs to tap. Yes, that's the way it would be started. That's how I see
Very,
it.
very different way of having a start position.
Yeah, you are literally upside down in this route, and that's what route setters want to see. That's what an audience wants to see.
And so the bonus is only the pink tile,
Yeah.
not the entire volume like what we've seen previously.
And right now for the girls, they're actually on the slab part of the wall, so I think this would be a test of balance. There are no more tiles that they can hold on to on top, and the bonus hold is actually quite a distance away.
And the most interesting part comes after the bonus. There's nothing for their feet to stand on, so I wonder how the ladies are going to tackle this problem.
I'm not exactly sure what is the top. I see a tape, but I can't see a tile.
It's a little tile, like a thumb catch.
Yeah.
And probably a little.
Maybe later on when we get closer
Yeah.
to there, we'll see a zoom in of what the top looks like.
Just either way, very good flash attempt from.
And there we
Kareem.
go, so we can see it looks really small.
It's a very, very small.
It's the same width as the tape. That's how small it is.
And if I'm not mistaken, there's not a lot of catch on it.
Yeah, so I think you just have to hold on to it in the sense that just tap. Yeah, it's a tap.
And of course, Keita.
So we had a look on where Kareem is stepping. There are no extra foothold. And there we go, an up-close view of the top
Yep,
hold.
there's no catch.
There is no
Maybe
catch.
for the first pad of your fingers.
Yes, it's smaller than the width of the tape. That's what I want to say right here. It's really impressive how our route setters think of these things.
And Keita again, facing the dual volumes. Excuse me, the dual textural volumes.
So Kareem, the volume on the right hand side, there are no footholds anymore on that volume, so it's just flat surface. And the thing about this flat surface is that it's tilted a bit to the right, so it's actually, you can actually slide down anytime if you are not very conscious of where you are stepping. And the next tile, the bonus tile, is actually the simple tile, so that white part is actually really smooth. If I will compare the texture, I would say it's like marble-like texture.
Like the flooring,
Yes.
marble, porcelain kind of
Yes.
texture. So the more chalk you have, the harder it is for you to grip. Especially since the volumes, instinctively you would want to have more chalk in your hands to increase as much friction as you can on volumes. But because of the way the tiles are designed, the more chalk you have, the smoother it becomes for you, the
Yeah.
harder it is for you to grip. And of course, Keita, once again, trying to reach out for that triangular volume right there.
Our climbers have less than half a minute left, 20 seconds in fact.
But that will be it from Keita. Very, very polite
really
of
good.
him.
And
It's
for
been
him.
a very, very long fight for all our climbers. And of course for Keita.
Right now we are looking at Kareem. She has 5 seconds to secure the bonus.
So I guess this would be the filter route. For one, you have to be very strong on the contact for the bonus. And at the same time, figuring out how you want to move on after you reach the bonus. For me, I would say you would have to do a lot of balancing before you mental onto that bonus tile.
Yeah.
And yet at the same time, there's nothing for you to catch on for the final top tile.
And right now we have Karin's teammate Mao Nakamura. And also from Team Japan we have Mizuki Tajima, also from Japan. So Mizuki climbing. There are normal footholds there, so it's just the starting holds that they can step on. So Mizuki is really high up on the wall now.
And Mao doing a very, very good job on her flash attempt. She's taking her time.
Mizuki just brushing on that tile.
So Mao has secured herself a bonus.
Very smart.
Because of the way the scoring system is, the number of attempts to top matters a lot, and of course the number of attempts to bonus. So for Mao, at least in her flash attempt for this route, she has managed to secure herself a bonus.
I'm not too sure if there's a tile on the other side of that. I can't see from this angle, but so they are trying to get to this volume.
I don't think there's a tile on the other side of the volume. Seeing the way that the brush has managed to brush the volume itself so smoothly, I don't think there's any little catches around. But either way, even if there is, it is very, very difficult for all our climbers to even reach to that point. I mean, if we can't see it from our angle, I'm not sure if these climbers can.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. And right now Mizuki just trying to figure out this route again. Almost getting it just now. And right now we can see another angle of the wall. There is nothing there. I think the best part to hold this simple volume is the
On the
edges,
higher parts
yeah,
of
the
the
edges of the simple of that white part.
Yes.
In a pinch.
Like
but-
either in a pinch or
Yeah.
in the side pull loading
Yeah.
that she was trying to do.
But the thing is, because of the way the foothold is placed, it's tilted in this manner. It's very hard to keep on the tension in your legs.
Of course, very steady progress, Mizuki.
And I'm still thinking about how to end this route. So this is the final problem for our Youth A. They have qualified for the YOG selection. They have finished their speed discipline earlier on this morning, and right now they are doing the bouldering, and later on after this they will be actually doing the lead category. Mao looking like she's getting a better understanding of that tile where she can hold, and Mizuki just trying to get off from the bonus to the second last tile. It's really big, powerful move, especially you coming out from the incline of the wall and out into the flat. So it's definitely gonna take out a lot from your core. And the thing is, that next tile, there is no ledge.
Mao
And Mao managed to get,
just mental and Gaston herself up.
I think she needs to jam herself to the side. She needs two hands.
So there's really nothing much for her to catch on, but that would be a finish.
She looks really happy.
Very, very happy, Mao. As we've seen her yesterday, every time she finishes a route, she's just really all smiles. Very happy climber. Very nice to be with.
So that last tile is
around.
really just enough for your fingertips. So if you don't keep the tension on your leg, there is a big chance that you'll slip out. So it's really good that Mao kept her composure and kept her fingers inside, kept it tight.
So the moment the time was counting down, she knew that there's a possibility for her to finish this route.
Yeah.
And so she just rushed on to the route immediately. Very familiar with the routes, a lot of muscle memory by then. So joining us right now is Daiichi from Japan, as well as Kim Lan from Korea. Daiichi going straight in for the start, just jamming his knee there to secure himself, saving a lot of energy when he does that. Just look at that knee.
And now he has to turn around. Yeah, really making good use of that knee jam. However, yeah, that's what I thought. The swing would be big once he take it out.
Especially since the position he's in, especially when the knee is jammed in such a way whereby it is in a very awkward position for your feet to be in. Your calf is facing outwards, but your body is facing inwards. If he lands badly, it may be an injury right there. So it's a lot of confidence in himself and a lot of practice. You're gonna see him do it again.
It is a false start. He needs to tap both his limbs so the tape demarcates where they should tap the hands and legs.
That's right, and his feet just tapped the wall, which does not count.
Yeah.
And of course, Kim Lan.
So just struggling at the start, trying to get her footing right.
So the difference in what we've seen so far from Kareem, Mao and Kim Lan is that for Kareem and Kim Lan, they put both their hands on the tile above first before they secure their feet at the bottom tile. But for Mao, she's actually went straight in with her left leg straight onto the tile on top. So it saves a lot of energy. She doesn't need to switch her feet over. She doesn't need to find time to match her feet.
Daiichi once again going on with that knee bar.
So it's now his knee bar right now. But the swing is really huge and the tiles that he's latching on is really not friendly.
So we are halfway there in our last boulder of the last boulder of the day. Sorry. And we have 3 more climbers coming up after this. So it's really exciting. They really want this position. So these competitors right here are the top 6 in the combined ranking for the Youth A category that happened in the past 4 days. So the combined ranking in lead, speed and bouldering enabled them to qualify for the YOG qualification that is happening today.
Of course, this is only the first qualifications for the Youth Olympic Games. There will be many more coming up.
The winner of today's YOG selection will be able to compete in Buenos Aires next year. So it's really exciting times ahead.
Daiichi shaking off the fatigue on his hand. Kim Lan.
So one of our climbing partners here is Kailas, together with Gecko King, supporting IFSC Asia to bring you Asian Youth Championship right here in Singapore.
And of course, for the equipment, we gotta have a huge shout out to All Sports as well as Climbers Laboratory for providing us with the equipment necessary as well as the warm-up equipment that our climbers are using for this YOG selections. And at the very, very last second, Kim Lan with at least a bonus secured in her pocket.
Coming out next is Son Sunga from Korea.
And Song Hua Long from China.
So these climbers are really focused and concentrated even at such a young age. These climbers are only born in the turn of the millennium, 2001 and 2000. really young.
And Son Seung-ah, similar to what Kareem had tried in the starts, just put 2 hands on the top before she lounges for the next towel. And Hua Long securing himself the bonus.
Stopping themselves from that swing is really quite difficult for the boys, because your entire upper body is already on the left, but your lower body is still on the right side.
And for you to move over, like what Keita did, so Keita locked his hands really, really tightly before he moved his left leg to the little red triangular towel at the bottom. But to do that, you have to have a lot of control.
Yeah, at their lower core,
Yes.
to be able to do the swing of your hips to the left. Yeah, controlling that swing is really hard. And he was also doing a knee jam, so every time you fall off, you kind of scratch your knee. And especially if you're not wearing long pants, you're wearing shorts, your skin is in direct contact of that tile, so sometimes you get skinned.
So like what we've seen Hua
Yeah.
Long just checking his knee for a while.
And I think, if I'm not wrong, Daiichi actually got some abrasion on his right knee as well. We saw it just now.
And Son Seung-ah,
So literally, these climbers are giving all blood, sweat and tears for the sport that they love. So this event is supported by Singapore Mountaineering Federation as well as Sport Singapore. Both organizations hope to further sports in this country, and it's really nice to see that we are hosting a regional event right here in the sunny Singapore, with Gorilla Climbing Gym providing the venue.
and of course, it is in Singapore where there's a lot of gyms around, and of course one of the best gyms available is Climbers Laboratory, as well as Gorilla Climbing Gym for having provided the venue for which all our climbers are able to enjoy themselves as they climb for the past few days, undaunted by any weather changes, as well as a very, very clean environment for all of us. And trying once again, Son Seung-ah, with a minute on the clock. She's just still struggling a little with the second tile. And Hua Long. So Keita didn't do a knee jam.
Yeah,
He just stepped onto the tile instead. So he doesn't have to tackle with the swing that comes with the knee jam. But that will be it from Hua Long. Next is just right now, just taking as much time, as much attempts as she needs, is Son Seung-ah. So this would be the only time Seung-ah actually gets to try the roots. So just make it count. Just go as far as she needs to, take as much time as she can afford. But I guess that will be it from Son Seung-ah. And coming up next
is Ko Jong-ran, her teammate, also representing Korea.
And of course from China is Huang Dichong. Very, very good effort on the third route. Huang Dichong and Kim Jong-ran just waiting for the good go by the route judges.
These are our second last climbers for the bouldering category. Then we will move on to our lead category after our last climbers come out after them.
Difei.
So Dichong is also doing that knee jam, that knee bar. I'm not too sure if it would have been easier for them if they don't do the knee bar, so that their lower body doesn't stay stuck on the right hand
I mean,
side.
we've seen how Keita did it. He didn't do a knee bar. He just high stepped onto the starting towel with a very full arm locked before he switched over to the left side.
Yeah.
But for Dichong, not very sure if he's gotten the bonus in his first attempt, because we see him trying to reach around for the bonus, but we've yet to see him actually secure it. So that would have to be checked by the route judges. But either way, so right now,
This should be a sure one.
yes, this will be a sure one. So he's got to use it, not just touch it. And load at least a little weight on it.
So Dichong was actually trying to control that swing just now. He knew that that swing was coming.
And of course, Zhongran. So volume tiles. You see the amount of chalk there is. The amount of chalk that was on the volume could tell the previous climbers have put in a lot of effort. And Zhongran doing a very different beta. She's going to shift herself towards the right. But it's a huge risk because of the volumes on her feet. So very nice control. Very good
And
control
there
by
we go, by Dichong.
So he's got to make this count. So Keita kept slipping off this move, but with lots of time left on the clock.
Dichong also inspected his right knee from that knee jam. This route is leaving our athletes bloodied.
But of course we have the lead route coming up soon.
Yeah.
It's a very nice curtain call for the bouldering sector of the YOG selections at AYC this year in Singapore. Just brushing up on the volumes, making sure that she gets the tiles in the best condition she can, and with lots of time left.
So this event actually started on 5th July, so our climbers have been here for a while, especially our Youth A that are competing now. They've actually been climbing for almost 5 days consecutively.
So Zhongran is getting the beta now, the same method that Mao did in order to get onto the slab. So she's got to secure herself the bonus at the very least. And Dichong a lot more familiar with the beta for this route. And he's touched that tile.
And he has secured the second last
Has
tile.
to secure himself. Oh, once again, just one tile away, one move away
And that is it for him.
from Dichong. Probably saving up as much energy as he can for the leads coming up very, very soon. Either way, very good results from him.
And Jongran securing the bonus. She has less than 30 seconds left on the clock.
But we've seen how Mao's done it within 30 seconds, so
Yeah.
maybe Zhongran can continue this 5 seconds.
And that is it.
But either way, very good attempt, very valiant effort by Zhongran. We're going to see her again on the leads very, very soon.
And our last climber is out. We have Pan Yufei, and together with him would be Song Yiling, both representing China.
So Pan Yufei, our only flash for the YOG selections for the bouldering discipline. We're gonna see if Yufei can outdo his own teammates, outbest himself. With Dichong just going the furthest so far with the 4th route. And of course we want to see if Yiling can maintain her status, having come in the top for the speeds.
Every discipline count as their ranking will be combined in all this. With Yufei and Yiling securing the top position for speed climbing, they are definitely in a good position to winning and being able to compete in Buenos Aires YOG. This is the last problem, and these are our last climbers, and we will move on to the lead event later on.
Very secured right there from Yufei. But that would have been a lot more attempts from Yiling, since she's already jumped off the mat a few times trying to get herself onto the volume. But that was the flash attempt by Yufei.
So Yufei also figured out that there will be a huge swing coming out as he approached towards the left side, so he would need to manage and control that.
More control now than his previous attempt.
Very nicely done by Yifei, controlling that swing really well.
So he's at the crux.
So
of
his
this.
teammate Tichong actually stepped up on the right side, and that helped him a lot in reaching the second last style. However, Yifei didn't do that. Perhaps if he tried it as well, I think he could get the second last style on the left.
And 2 minutes is a lot of time for him to try.
Yeah.
And of course, Yiling going a lot better now on her next attempt.
And it's really very easy to slip off these volumes. These volumes are tilted in such a way that you cannot load on them positively. You really have to be conscious of your footing.
Just moving a lot more familiar.
Right there, Yifei
Very
actually
strong
cupped the
Yifei.
right hand and left hand so that he has better control of the swing. That's really, really good.
But the irony is that for Yiling, unlike most of the previous climbers, she's placed her feet on the outside,
Yeah.
the left side of the tile instead of the right. So it's going to be a little tricky here. She tries to...
Shift her weight.
She probably should move her left feet over first.
She's trying to find her balance. Her left hand is not holding, so there's a lot of tension on her right shoulder right now. So that could be quite exhausting as well.
Yep, so she's moving her left leg. Yep.
Keeping her balance as well at the same time.
So like I was saying, it's very awkward to have your left feet over on the left side. Even though there's an in cut.
Yeah. That might not be the best position for her.
But now she's in a very good position to continue. And with 1 minute on the clock, Yifei.
I think Yiling knows that she needs to make space for her right leg. Yeah. So now she bumped her right hand further to the right so that she can step with her right leg over.
40 seconds on the clock
This
for
will
Yifei.
require some flexibility on her.
And will that be it for Yifei? And that's it from Yifei from China.
Saving his energy for the lead round later on.
But either way, already securing her position in speed discipline.
And Yiling as well. That is it.
And this would be the curtain call for our bouldering sector for YOG selections. Very, very soon we will be having the lead section. The lead selections.
And we just want to thank our climbing partners, Kailas and Gecko King, for partnering with IFSC Asia as well as Singapore Mountaineering and Sport Singapore. Do stay tuned as we will be bringing to you the YOG selection for the lead event.